Do you want to see how we're going to get 3 colours out of 2 embossing powders? Let's go ahead and I'll show you. Hi, I'm Marion Emberson. Those of you that know me and are following me, if you've already subscribed, thank you so, so much. I really appreciate it. If you haven't, I'd love it if you did. But you'll know that I absolutely adore embossing powders. And I talk with my hands a lot. I just love them. They're just so versatile. One of the things I like doing with them is making backgrounds with them. So that's what I'm going to be doing here. I'm just going to show you what I'm using. Excuse me. I've gone ahead and cut out a piece of my Wow Superior Smooth cardstock. I just literally take the A4 sheet and cut it in half lengthways, fold it over 10-fold style, or you could have it going that way. I just love this stuff because it's such a bright white. It's beautiful. And then I've cut a little panel that's slightly smaller, really just slightly smaller than the base card. I'm using, for the first time, this Paper Roses die. I bought this from scrapbook.com. I didn't even realise that they were an Australian company. I just love the dye. I love outline dyes. So yeah, I'm going to be using this, and I just think it's so beautiful. And then, oh, and I've already gone ahead and cut those out, so I won't bore you with cutting them out because the bit that I have to do with them gets a little bit boring. And then I've also gone ahead, and I just love this die from Catherine Paula. It's the Bestie word die. And with that, I've gone ahead and I've die cut it. And then I've also die cut it out of a piece of funky foam. And so I'm just going to mount that on top of there. So it's just lovely. So let's just pop those out the way. So in one of my previous videos, I used the Bee Sweet from Wow, designed by Honeybee, and then Oasis. You'll find me using Oasis quite a lot. It's one of my favourite colours. But you'll notice on the Bee Sweet pot, it's got an OM, which means opaque marbling. I am going to do a video that explains all about the different properties of embossing powders and how you can get the most out of them. But bear with, I'll just do this one first. So opaque marbling, and then T means translucent. So what we're going to do, we're going to work with our opaque marbling first. Because it's opaque, it's going to take over the colour. So let me just take a brayer, and I'm just going to ink up my brayer. Now, very, very gently, I'm just going to brayer that ink on. But I'm not going really hard. I'm not going all over the place. And then I'm going to flip my paper over and then sprinkle on my Bee Sweet. Once it's there, I can just start tipping it down. There we go. I might actually do a whole video on different backgrounds with embossing powders. Let me know if you'd like to see that. Right, let me just put the lid on, and then I'm just going to heat set this. Okay, that's lovely. So what we want to do now, we want to let this cool down before we do our next layer. So just give it a little waft about. I'll just take this time to say thank you ever so much for everyone who's subscribed to my videos. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. It makes doing all this worthwhile, let me tell you. If you haven't subscribed, I'd love it if you click that subscribe button. I know there's a thing that they do where they do a little thing that comes up that says subscribe, but I ain't got a clue how to do that. So I'm just asking you from the bottom of my heart, if you would subscribe, it would really mean a lot. If you would press like, only if you like it, obviously. If you don't like the video, then don't press like. But if you would press like, because that just tells YouTube that I'm doing a good job. So, and then they like that, and then they sort of push me forward a little bit more. So that's really nice. So yeah. waffle over with that. Thank you very much. Oh, and comments. I just love to hear your comments, and just let me know if there's other things you want to see. Okay, so second layer. This is cooled down now. So now inking up my brayer again. Where it's white, I can go heavier with my inking. Okay, let me just get bits on there. And then again, I'm just going lightly. This is one of those techniques that you can just add to it if you feel you need to, once you've done it. Okay, so let me just take my Oasis, and I want bits, I'm hoping I'm still going to have bits of white show through. Let's just flick that down. Give it a flick. Don't be afraid. Oh, it's lovely. Okay, so let's just pop that back in the pot. Sometimes people say these pots are really small, but trust me, they last such a long time, as long as you don't tip them over anywhere. Okay, let's just heat set this. Okay, so what I wanted you to, oh, you're not going to see it if I flick it away. What I want you to notice is, so we've got our Bee Sweet, our yellow here, and then we've got our Oasis here, which has gone on the pure white. But where the Oasis has hit the Bee Sweet, it's gone a green colour. So what it's done is it's taken that colour from underneath through the Oasis, because that's translucent, and picked it up. And it just looks great. Really, really lovely. So I'm really, do you know what? I think I like it that way round. Do you know, as I'm looking at that, I don't know if anyone else can see this. I can see trees. I can see like a little forest. I'm like, if anyone else sees it, tell me, because otherwise I think I'm going mad. My husband thinks I'm mad anyway. Okay, so I was thinking I am just going to stick that down to my card front. And then I'm going to be doing these bits on there. Now, these bits that I've done, let's just move this out of the way. I wanted to make them, so there was a bit like a cover die. Cover dies are beautiful. I will try and do another video later where I show you how you can make your own, not make your own cover die, but make your own cover die effect. Okay, what you don't want to do is get them all caught up like I have. Don't know how I've done that. Okay, there we go. Right, whoops. Okay, so I'm going to fast forward this so you haven't got to sit through it all. I don't want you falling asleep. But basically, I'm going to glue these together, and then I'm going to cut away the bits that are underneath, etc., so that they're in the way. So it'll all become apparent in a minute. So I'm going to just get on and do this. You want to just make sure that where you're, let me just take this off. So I'm going to use that bit first of all. I'll fast forward in a minute. So I've got that bit stuck down, and then I know that I can just trim that bit off, and that's gone now. Okay, so now I'm going to just work out where I could leave them just overlapping if I want, but I can stick them down and then just cut away those little areas, and it just makes it look so much neater and more attractive. It's just, well, in my book anyway. Let's just put that, I think I'll put that there. So let me just do, oops, where was I? There. A little bit of glue. I will speed it up. That's how I'm going to do these things. So if you look, can you see where they're all overlapping now? We could actually take the whole thing off there and place it elsewhere if we wanted to. Right, one thing I'd recommend for definite is get yourself some really little snippy ones, like I say, the 5-inch Tim Holtz ones. I have got them somewhere. I have got no idea where they are, but they're fantastic. But any of the little ones would make it so much easier. I actually found it quite therapeutic, and I'm not a fussy cutter, but I actually quite enjoyed that. I think I like the challenge of where you had to snip. But anyway, it's done now. I also turn this over because it's curling a little bit through the heat and the liquid. So I'm just going to get some double-sided adhesive on there. Okay. Right, that's stuck down now to that. So I'm going to position that on there. And I'm going to think to myself, how do I want my Bestie? Do you know, I think I'm just going to do it in the B suite. Let's keep this simple, Marion. Don't overthink things. Is anyone else a bit of a procrastinator? I'm a nightmare. Okay, let's just do this side, because I think this side was already. I'll just brayer that on. Nice lot of pressure. Oops. Oh dear, I don't know what I'm doing now. While I did go off and have a look for me little 5-inch scissors, I did find me little scrapbook.com tweezers, and they're nice. Okay, so let me just pop that there. That can go back in. I can use that to just anchor down. So if I just put it where the little hole is. Lovely. I do love this B suite because it's got some like mustard yellow in there as well as a light yellow. It's really, really nice. Okay, so what we're going to do, I'm just going to let that cool down a bit. I'm going to adhere it to that. But first, I'm going to get lots of bits of glue. Okay, so let me just take that. Then I'm going to go like so with it. And I'm going to trim off. Okay, let's get rid of those bits. If you wanted to speed it up, you could, because I was thinking as I was doing it, I thought to myself, if you used a spray adhesive on the back of all three, then use that to stick them on top of one another. Don't worry about cutting anything away if you don't want to do that. And then you can just stick it straight down as well. So that would be so much quicker. Okay, You might need to keep something on there to hold it down, because don't forget we've got the height of this as well. So we've just got to get the adhesive through that. And there you go. Isn't that just simple but effective? And it looks like you've used 3 colour powders and you haven't. And it looks like you've used 3 dyes and you haven't. You've just joined together 1 dye. I hope you enjoyed that. If there's anything else you want to see me doing, ask me. And if I can do it, I'll do a video for you. Thanks ever so much for watching. Take care. Bye.